What's up, guys and gals? Your host with the most, Griever, as always, and this is going to be an extremely short review of Jujustu Kaisen, Chapter 183. The reason being is because, look, everybody's reaction is either going to be confused, and everybody's review or post-reaction is going to be explaining how pachinko works in Japan, right? I don't fully understand how it works. It looks like complicated casino slots to me, okay? And no, I don't really care how it works. I still to this day don't understand the 24 frames per second bullshit ability that the guy from the other clan had. You know what I mean? In Shibuya. I don't know really. I get it. People have explained it, but there's something that's just not adding up for me personally. Maybe it's my own brain matter. Maybe I'm dumb. I don't know. But either way, rather than complicate my mind, rather than sit down and spend hours trying to figure this out, learn a totally new version of poker and gambling that I have no fucking interest in ever playing, I'm just going to go off on the fact that, okay, what we all assumed was true. Hakari's abilities are based on gambling, number one, and luck, number two. Hence why the conversation that everybody's going to talk about, which was Yuta saying when Hakari's on a roll, he's even stronger than him, and Maki called bullshit. So, they're both right. They're both right in a sense, because it's all luck-based. Now, at the end of this chapter, we see that Hakari is talking about, like, capitalizing on your luck, like, I make my own luck sort of idea. That mentality, the very Harvey Dent, make your own luck. Every side of the coin is head, so you're never wrong. You know, that kind of idea, right? And that's fair. That's fair and fine, right? That's cool. But do I fully understand this ability? No. Do I have any intention of ever reading enough and understanding the history of pachinko to fully grasp this idea? No. I don't. From what I understand, it's a domain expansion that forces the player or the person encompassed inside to basically watch Hakari play pachinko. And if he wins, he's winning. If he loses, you're winning. That's the summary that I got. I could be wrong, and there's so many conditions with this shit that I feel like I'm just going to say it right now, guys. Why? Seriously. Like, this chapter was alright. You know, like there's nothing to really dislike about it, but there's a lot to what's to like about it realistically, like, because why overcomplicate an ability like this? Why do this? Why? That's my question. Why make an ability so complicated that the entire fan community, now maybe Japan is sitting here going back and going, goddamn stupid Westerners, we don't know fucking what we're talking about, and it's very easy to understand from their perspective. Fine dandy. So maybe it's just a cultural thing, where if you understood the game of pachinko, which is very common in Japan, of course, and, you know, the East and stuff, then maybe this would make so much sense so easily, and the Japanese are sitting back going, like, how do you not get this? It's so fucking easy. Like, Hakari's ability is not that complicated, right? It's pachinko, and we're sitting back going, yeah, no. I feel like this is sort of the Japanese are sort of playing games with us a little bit here, because, like, they refused to release some of the Final Fantasy games because they were too hard. We never got a Fire Emblem game for so long because they deemed that the Westerners were too stupid or not smart enough to be able to play those games. And also, Super Mario Bros. 2 was never released in Japan until later, and now it's dubbed the Lost Levels because, once again, the Japanese believed that Westerners, it was too complicated for us. So, the Japanese have always had this idea that we are not smart enough to understand their shit. Whether true or not, the fact of the matter is, I think this chapter is kind of proving their point once all over again. It's the 80s, the 90s, and now here in 2022, All they're doing is proving the fact that they're goddamn right. We as Westerners are just not up to par. We're not up to par. Maybe it's because they do 6 days of school. Maybe it's because their school day is a full work day. Maybe it's because ABC. I have no idea why this is the case, but at the end of the day, I don't really get it. I don't understand the reason to make an ability so complicated. Why have so many goddamn rules? Like, all that's going to do is mess up power scaling. It's going to mess up power creep. It's going to mess up ability wondering. Like, it just... In a world like Jujutsu Kaisen, it feels unnecessary to make a domain this complicated. You know? Like, that's my only question. Going back to the original why, that's all I have to say. Why? Why are we doing this? I already brought up the idea that maybe, like, this isn't overly complicated, and the fact that maybe in the East it's totally understandable. But from what I've seen on Reddit and Discord and stuff like that, and from what I read 3 or 4 times, I'm still sitting there going, look, I've already graduated college. I don't want to fucking try to understand. I don't want to study. You know, I shouldn't have to look up 3 Wikipedia pages and an entire... It's sort of like, I feel like Gege wants me to watch a YouTube tutorial on, hey, everybody, let's go and understand somebody who's never played Magic the Gathering. Let's understand the entirety of playing a D&D campaign. Let's explain the entirety of Magic the Gathering. Let's explain, like, in a manga that is almost 200 chapters strong, where we have not needed to do that yet. You know what I mean? Because there was no gradual explanation for this. This is just, boom, here's a really overcomplicated ability. You know? I mean, maybe some people appreciate this. I don't, because now I can't power scale Hikari because I fully don't understand the domain expansion. And without full understanding, somebody can come at me and say, Hikari is the strongest of the verse because his domain works like this, and the situation this, and this, and they're doing that crazy, you know, that meme where buddy's like, hey, look at all the shit. I've connected all the dots why Hikari's the strongest. There's no way to fight that argument, even if they're wrong, because I don't get it myself, you know? Even if they don't get it, they sound like they get it, and that's weird, you know? Like, so maybe I should have went on here and be like, you plebs, you fools who do not understand the intricacies of Pachinko and Hikari's domain expansion. Let me explain. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. The fact of the matter is, some people are going to do that. Some people are going to bullshit their way through this and say, it's not that complicated. Or some people are going to go through the way and say, oh, well, I always knew what Pachinko meant and blah, blah, blah. But I think a lot of them are full of shit. And at the end of the day, I think this is overcomplicated for no good reason. I think that overall, Gege made a bit of a mistake with this domain. The doors, the Pachinko shit, the gambling and bringing them into, like it could have been so much more simplified and still had the same effect. Right? At least in my mind. I don't know. Maybe I'm bitching. I could be. But at the end of the day, I just feel that this chapter did not sell me on Hikari being likable, because all this did was tell me, okay, so we got a character that's super strong, who's got a domain that's broken as fuck, but I don't understand why it's broken as fuck, and I really don't get, you know what I mean? If I'm wrong about the summary of it, it sounds like, okay, he plays Pachinko and fucking, if he wins, then he gets to hit the opponent. That's what I've gathered so far. He gets the sure hit of there's another thing, the sure hit, the sure kill sort of idea that clearly is throwing out the window tier 2. It's sort of like, okay, so they're in the domain. It's clearly not a sure kill because he hasn't killed anybody yet, but it's a sure hit, maybe. Like if he hits the jackpot, is it a sure hit? Is that the idea? Like, oh, if he wins at Pachinko, then he gets the sure hit. And when can the French guy move? You know what I mean? When can Charles move? Like, because he said he can't predict the future sight. He can't predict what the pachinko shit is going to do in real time. But why isn't he just attacking Hikari right now? You know? Like, why isn't he attacking him in the meantime before he keeps powering up, so to speak? You know? So, I got questions. I don't fully understand it. A lot of the community seemingly doesn't understand it. And I don't blame them either. I think Gege made a mistake. I think he did that like the Hunter x Hunter, like boom, 3 pages of fucking dialogue, explanation of how Nen works. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, look, I'm here to be entertained and read a fucking battle manga. I'm not here to have a fucking history lesson and be in a classroom for 3 months to understand how physics work. I'm here to enjoy a goddamn power system where people beat up other people. Let's go, you know? So I just think that this was overcomplicated for the sake of what? I don't know. I disagree with the decision to make this ability the way it is, but maybe, once again, as I've already explained, perhaps in the East, this is very easily understood and we're just a bunch of stupid Westerners. I don't know. Fact of the matter is, looks like complicated slots to me. What did you guys think of the chapter? It was a mad chapter for me. Like, comment, subscribe. As always, don't forget the fourth and most important thing is to drink but responsibly, as I always do. And we will see you guys back here next time for Jujutsu Kaisen, chapter 184. Looking forward to it. Hope you guys are too. See you back here next time. Bye-bye.